spending time alone in the mountains for me is totally essential. It's kind of how I reset my mind when life gets a bit too crazy. It's where I go to think and plan and rest. Being near Montserrat is such a gift. I mean, all mountains are sacred to me in some way, but Montserrat really is on another level. The history here, the stories, the physical landscape is beyond breathtaking. So when I made the decision to go out into the mountains alone to fast, it was a pretty obvious choice to do it at Montserrat. But this mountain has a reputation for swallowing people whole. People come out here alone, looking for something, and they just disappear. But the concept with this is pretty simple. I walk up to the mountain, I take just the bare necessities that I need to survive, just water, and I don't come back until I have the answers that I need. I don't know how this is going to go, but I guess we'll find out. I'm excited. Just me and the mountain. I recently discovered this concept of dopamine fasting, where for 24 hours you shut off your phone, you stop working, and you do nothing. You don't listen to music, talk to anyone, and you just see what happens to your mind without all that constant stimulation. And I realized that this is something that I used to do like 3 or 4 years back, but I couldn't do it at home because I lived with 3 people, so I would go out into the mountains, into a tent or into a cave. And it was something that was really important to me that I just completely forgot about. And I don't want important things to fade away just because I'm busy, you know? So this experiment is about rediscovering that concept for me, but also sharing it with you, because if it's as powerful as I remember it, then it could really help you. So after a short walk through the foot of the mountain, I found myself a cave. I set out my gear, and then the first thing I noticed almost immediately is that I want to eat something. And I think, how lucky am I that I can choose to put myself in this situation rather than just being hungry and have nothing that I can do about it. And so the first reason that I love this practice is that it brings me gratitude for what I have, which is choice. But when you have no option to cover that feeling of hunger by eating or distracting yourself with your phone or with work, then you realize it's not just hunger, it's something else that's making you uncomfortable. And this is what we refer to as the void. The void that we fill with food, we fill with shopping or porn or Facebook or Instagram or anything, to forget what it actually feels like to just be. And after a little while, I actually start to feel what it's like to not have every single thing that I could ever need or want right at my fingertips. So a huge part of this practice is about voluntarily becoming uncomfortable. It's about evaluating your relationship with comfort and asking yourself if being comfortable all the time is really something that's actually helping you. Usually when I'm in the mountains, I'm going somewhere. I'm headed to the summit, or I'm racing daylight to find a campsite. Only occasionally do I get to sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and just watch the mountains and listen to the sound of the wind. But this time I get to sit for what feels like forever, and I tune into the sounds. I get to hear the mountain goats across the valley. I can hear the wind rushing through these hundreds of peaks that make up this mountain of Montserrat. Actually start to hear my own thoughts, because I realize that I spent so much time listening to other people's thoughts and opinions and then replaying them in my mind as if they were my own, but they're not. Whether it's the news or some YouTube video or podcast, or the things that my parents told me as a kid, half the time my head's filled with somebody else's thoughts. And I realized that if I live my life with other people's thoughts in my head, then I'm going to make decisions based on what they want. And I'm going to end up somewhere that I don't want to be. And I realized that some of the things that I've done in my life and some of the mountains that I've climbed have been for other people, to please others. But I took this occasion to come out to the mountains to think specifically about why I create. Because I felt like I've been making videos for a while that for reasons that aren't my own. So I wanted to come back from this little experiment with a clear goal in mind as to what the purpose of each video is, and the overall purpose of this channel that you're watching is, and I have. I want to share stories, and through these stories I want to share tools that will help you prepare your mind, your body and your gear so that you can go further into the mountains, to challenge yourself, and most importantly to grow from that experience. Because I honestly believe that people come back from the mountains being better people. And I think it's the best way for me to create a better world where people aren't indifferent to their own nature and to the natural world that supports our existence. So if you're into that, then welcome to Chase Mountains. So that's the end of my fast. I'm back in civilization. 24 hours without food. Am I a vastly different person? No. Was it a good experience? Yeah, definitely. It's something I'll definitely do again. Mainly because it's just so easy. You don't have to organise anyone else. You don't have to organise any food. You just grab a backpack and just go to the mountains. So I think I will definitely do it again. And I really have a clear list of things that I need to kind of implement into my life to become who I want to become. So yeah, I feel very happy about my little dopamine fast in the mountains. I'd highly recommend it. Just be safe out there. I'll see you on the summit.